Hi, I'm Allan. I'm a psychotherapist. Welcome to Headbangers, where I delve into the deeper psychological secrets of classic rock songs. Today we're going back to 1970, Crosby, Stills, Nash Young, and the song Almost Cut My Hair from the Déjà Vu album. Let's let David Crosby introduce the issue for us.
Almost cut my hair. Happened just the other day. Was getting kind of long. I could have said it was in my way, but I didn't. I wonder why. I feel like letting my freak fly by.
So, it seems like we're being set up for an exploration of identity. So David Crosby, he wants to let his freak flag fly, but that means growing his hair long, gets in the road. Probably at a deeper level, men having long hair in the 70s was a statement against authority, and it did get some pushback. He could get hassled by the police. So he wants to let his freak flag fly, but is it really worth it? That's the exploration we seem to be being set up for, but then something really interesting happens.
As I feel like I'm over someone.
So it's like a disturbing thought suddenly emerges out of the depths of Crosby's mind. Now, he introduces it like people often introduce a disturbing thought. It's no big deal. It's just part of the song. But if you sit with that, he owes someone something. It's quite an anxiety-creating thought. Who does he owe? Why does he owe them? What does he owe them? Will he ever discharge the debt? Can it be discharged? So, although Crosby introduces the thought in a fairly mild way, that thought, having that thought inside him, will affect him. It would affect how he is in the world and would affect his confidence. So let's see. So we're we'll soon find out. We're no longer in a song about identity. It's now a song about whether Crosby is going to let himself be affected by this disturbing thought, or whether he's going to push it away. Let's see what happens.
Must be because I had the flu for Christmas, yeah. And I'm not feeling up to par, no.
So Crosby's first reaction is to try and push the thought away. Well, the strategy is to act as if it didn't happen. Rather than staying with the disturbing thought, he goes back to believing the real issue is whether he should have cut his hair or not, which he resolves by saying, well, I had the flu for Christmas. It wasn't a big deal. I was just feeling a bit vulnerable, and that's why I nearly cut my hair. Okay, let's see what happens next.
Increases my paranoia. Like looking in my mirror and seeing one of them damn lit up Adam 12, yeah.
So Crosby, he does an interesting thing. He admits that he's paranoid. That's quite an admission. If he was able to sit with that paranoia, he'd probably go back to the thought that he owes somebody something, And if he could give time to both those thoughts and how they're linked, it probably would do him a lot of good. It would possibly lessen his paranoia and give some freedom from the thought that he owes somebody. But let's see what he does.
But I'm not giving in an inch to fear. Had to promise myself again this year.
So Crosby has a second strategy. The first one is that the disturbing thought doesn't exist. The second is, again, a fairly standard response. Here comes the paranoid fear, but what he's going to do, he's going to man up, he's going to toughen it out, and he's just not going to let it affect him. Let's see what happens.
Yes, I feel like I always did.
So it's pretty resilient, this disturbing thought. Crosby tries to sort of overpower it. He's not going to be affected by it, but there it is, still sitting there in his mind. Let's see what happens next.
When I finally get myself together, get down to some of that sweet southern weather, yeah. I'm going to find a space in Satellite. Separate the wheat from some cat.
So he's a pretty open guy, David Crosby. First he tells us he's paranoid. Then he tells us he hasn't got himself together. But once again, now he uses a third strategy. He projects himself into the future. So he projects himself to the time when he's got himself together. And then what he'll do is he'll find a sort of nice external environment, sunny southern weather. And there he'll also have a calming internal environment. He'll be inside the laugh. And once he's there, he'll separate the wheat from the chaff. He'll work out what's the truth, what's paranoia, what's a genuine anxiety, what's a projected anxiety that comes from a part of him. And so that's the hope. That's the third strategy. I won't worry about it now. I'll worry about it when I get myself together. Let's see what happens.
Like I always did.
So we don't know whether Crosby works this out, whether he can separate the wheat from the chaff. But what we do know is in the song, in the battle between the disturbing thought and Crosby's efforts to move away from that disturbing thought, the disturbing thought wins out in the end. It's in his mind. It's not going anywhere. So look, a big thank you to David Crosby, a wonderful word picture of a fairly normal psychological dynamic. A disturbing thought suddenly comes into our minds, and we use various strategies to try to keep it at bay and not be affected by it and get on with our lives. So once again, thank you to David Crosby. Thank you all for listening. See you at the next Headbanger video. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification button. Thank you.